Hello, all. My name is Maris Free. I am an inspirational and motivational, bringing to you the topic on male gender. I know our last topic was on female gender. We're trying to celebrate the past Women History Month that was in March, and the break that we had, and this is April. So after the video, I felt like I wasn't complete because humanity has to be of both gender, which is male and female. So I felt like short. So I decided to go and try to put together a little summary concerning the male gender that can finalize our being and signify our humanity. So it shouldn't be like I'm trying to be ignoring the men. So we all are worthy and we all make our being. Without the other, we are not complete. So after my little search on the web and the little knowledge I have, um, I got to put together this little summary I have with me here. So my eyes will go in on the paper, but please let's try to get the little information that I have put together, and hopefully it does enable us have a seed that we could grow in the mind when we sit back and try to think about it, because I know we can do better. But of every seed that we plant, we're able to grow worthy. And when you sit back to think about it, I hope we'll be able to have more information, and maybe some things I may say that need a little bit of adjustment. I'll be glad to receive. I'll be glad to receive a message or disagreements and agreements. We're just working together in order to get the best of us. And this is why I call it a motivation and inspiration. And it's not just about me, it's about us all, where we are going. Peace still in the storm to peace that have no storm. We must be able to start the journey from somewhere, be it a silly or unseeable. The end is what counts, the final outcome. And we must be able to know our final outcome from the beginning so that we stay motivated on this journey, which is peace that have no storm. To be able to have a complete human, we need a male and a female. And this is why I didn't, I didn't, I couldn't continue to another topic without talking about the male. So even though it's a little bit off topic, but I hope we do understand why humanity matters and the female and the male matters. Um, so now concerning the male, what did I what informations did I get about a male that will help us see the motivational inspirational side of a male in a female, and like like I explained of a like I explained of a male in a female, but there's a female in the male, like the male in the female. So first, a definition of a male, we know is a man. And well, there's a boy. A boy is a young of a man, and we know that a man is an adult male. It's an adult human being. It's an adult human being that is able to assist in conception but unable to conceive. Is what I try to um, pull out of experience and knowledge from resources and education. So we know that a female, like of the last topic I said, a female have the power to bear a child, but the male only have the power to enable conception. but both genders are able to nurture and care and provide some basic needs of this young or their own young. And it's expected that this is supposed to be of well-being, um, with respect, and avoiding harm or provoking harm that would disable the well-being of this young growing up. And to my knowledge, I don't think there's any human being, well, I do not think, maybe we have some have sinned, but I don't think there's any human being who is able to acknowledge that their guardians or one caring for them has been able to provide all their needs. We always have this need that we haven't been able to achieve, that we always try to achieve of self. And this is why a male and a female together make humanity, the whole of us that we keep seeking till today. And this is how we get to realize that of every being there's a need to fulfill a self, and this is possible by being able to know the opponent, the other of us. For if I'm a female, my knowing a male is learning to fulfill the other side of me that I'm lacking. And the male being able to know a female is to complete the other side of them lacking. Knowing that a man is authority, we all know masculine comes with what we say aggressiveness, which is more of like competition, um, of power, of authority, and of a female. We know females have all that, but there is this there's this one of them that makes them lesser than the male, which is emotional. And they get emotional that men do not get that emotional. So that's what keeps women a little bit behind the male, the emotions. And so the female have emotion, and it goes with caring and with nurturing, and the male are more of authority, of the authoritative side, and must be seeking to be the ruler, the one who directs, the one who leads. The female also on the other side leads in the way of caring, that the male have to learn to listen to the emotion of the female, and being able to collaborate with the female makes you a listener, and that's like learning from the female how to collaborate with them. So at the end, we both teaching each other to become the humanity that we deserve to be, of dignity, of wealth and health. So it's why we both need each other. Okay, so now understanding the part of a female in a male being the emotional side that a man needs from a woman, and the women understanding of the male side, the authority that they have to fulfill their emotion, we begin to see authority and caring, authority of a man and the caring of a woman put together makes our humanity. So authority caring, or caring authority, we are all supposed to have a caring authority. It's our end goal of humanity, a caring authority, a humble pride. Like we will say a she-male. A she-male is an in-between of a man and a woman, like a transitioning in between the man and the woman. We know that of our physical being, we are able to have this in between of us, which some, well, some refer to it like a normality, but of which, if we of motivations and inspiration giving, we see this with the peace that is in it. Because no matter the storm that we are able to enable of us, the peace that we are of origin is always worth and is always there and will always overcome the disabilities that we make of what we see. And the disability can change the whole game into something else, which is not supposed to be, and a disorientation that we need to correct back to be able to see the true picture of the worth that we must be seeking, the end goal of peace that have no storm. Now, the in between us, please permit me to pay respect to the in between of us before I continue concerning the male, the in between of us, the she male and the hermaphrodite, those that have the two gender in one, are are are, are a physical demonstration of the humanity that we seek, of the two in one, the male and the female at the end. Um, I know we say a male and a female is the two gender that we know because it's more popular, but the goal, it's obvious that you may know the goal in the beginning, but it's never that outspoken until you've reached the end of it. So how we see this specific of us, this special beings of us, the in between, is the goal that we seek. That when we sit back to reflect of the mind, the battlefield of which is this the confusion about how come this is in the existence of us. We begin to see that hey, um, when divided, it is because we have reached a place of disability and disorientation, and we're looking for peace that stills the storm. And that is how when you get affected with an unknown, you feel disorientated, you feel broken, and so you need to get back whole. And so you're trying to get back whole may take some steps, which is like a journey back to your origin. And so all the steps that you enable is peace still in the storm and back to your origin where you become back one. Okay. Are you trying to say that a man and a woman were one in the beginning, and then before they separated to become two, and are going back to one? Well, we know that a human being grows. My Lord, a human being grows from child to adult. We have seen the transformation of a child to an adult to know that there is growth. And so if we are now a two, a male and a female, and we have an in between of us, a she-male or a hermaphrodite, we understand that this is showing a sign of our completion that we seek, of two bodies that are able to relate and trying to understand why. And the why at the end is our getting together to know each other, to understand each other. That will make our true being of caring. This is humanity that we seek. That without the other, we are not complete. I really hope we are trying to understand what I'm trying to bring out of my understanding of experience, of out of experience, and knowledge from the educational side of us, school, and information from the web and surroundings. So coming to understand this in between of us in respect of the peace still in the storm, to peace that have no storm that we seek, are worthy of us to see. It's just that most of the time the disruption overtakes us, and the anxiety of trying to understand what's going on overtakes us, and we are unable to see the beauty, the truth in every storm. It's not the storm, but the peace that we are in it that needs to still the storm. The healing that must come after the disability is what we seek. That we have to be able to see that even a drunken one, we are able to still determine who they are. If it is my my chief officer who is drunk, I don't just see the drunk, I see my chief officer before I see the drunk. So when we see the disorientation of us, of seeing that, hey, um, this disability doesn't look right, of a physical, normal human being, but we know that in there is education that we're learning of humanity that we are, that separated male and female is not a complete human until we all have become one. So when we say a human being, a human is both. A woman is not a human. A man is not a human. Until both have become one, they become a human. That's a human. We could call the male a human being, call the female a human being. It's just a piece. You can call a piece of an orange an orange. You can call a piece of an orange, have this orange. What are you eating? Orange. It's just a piece of the orange, but when you put it all together, it makes the whole. So a piece of air is air. A drop of water is water. I pray we understand what I'm trying to say. So when we talk about humanity and a woman being a human and a man being a human, we are all looking for that one of us, which is the two of us together. That makes one. So now we know that humanity is authority and caring. That's a caring authority, which is what we seek of a she-male. And this is what this in between of us is trying to express of the physical that we're not trying to understand. But I pray we get to understand of the mind, peace still in the storm. We seek of who we are. So now we know that to respect both genders, we are supposed to know our differences. And the differences is of what the other doesn't have, and us trying to be able to, if it's a disability, we're trying to heal and not condemn. Now, the male learning from the female does not make the male lesser, but worthy if we understand our purpose of being a human. Same of a female learning from a man does not make the female disorientated or losing control, but trying to fulfill their purpose of being a human. That at the end, even the women, they begin to um at at at, 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 at an older age, a woman begin to have um one of a female characteristic called menopause, which I came to understand it like menopause, like men oppose the women to stay a woman, but try to fulfill their need, their completion of becoming a human, which is they stop bearing a child and focus on themselves to become a whole, and to see that bearing a child is only enabling another problem, and a problem that you can never solve. And this child gets up to realize that, hey, you brought me here, but you haven't fulfilled my needs. And now I'm struggling. Now you struggling is to get to know who you are by fulfilling yourself. At the end, we all individually have to fulfill self to get to self-worth, to being a human. A female must be able to get a stability of self, of being able to be of authority of self-control of self. And so the menopause comes in now of a woman becoming like a man to fulfill the what mentally of what a human is supposed to be. And then of a male, when they grow older, the seniors, they become of more humble, a humble side of a male. A male will not have authority, but the authority sometimes growing up is like more of an aggressive authority, but we realize that when they're getting older, they become more humble authorities and even of more wisdom and humble and more reliable and more stable. And so it comes with humbleness. It's amazing how sometimes to male being humble when they're of middle age is like being weak. But they I really appreciate it when they get more older, when they become more senior of wisdom. We begin to see that hey, it's like we are trading piece of each of self to each other. And so we begin to work on self and get the self-worth. At the end, we are able to achieve of both male and female in the mind, and the other gender also able to achieve the fulfillment of a whole, of a male and a female, of humanity, of the mind. So at the end, it's the mind that makes us. That the flesh, even when the flesh has transitioned back to its origin, we are able to leave behind a good mentality to others to learn from of who a human is, a true human is of our senior, when we become seniors of uh, our older citizens, as senior citizens. My respect to them all, our elders. It's amazing how that's how we begin to, some people call them their ancestors gods. It tells us of how, of generation of growth, of how when we grow we get to the place of becoming a whole being, that we're all pieces growing up to a stage of becoming a whole being. And ancestors are mostly those that are of age, of really like more of age. We begin to look up to them with respect, and hopefully they're able to reach that age with stability and without feeling depressed or of low self-esteem and lose their worth, and with confusion and disorientation. We begin to pray that it shouldn't go that way. Praying meaning that we begin to hope, we begin to plead that it doesn't go that way, because they're always too the storm we're trying to steal. That if you don't get to steal the storm, you end up being a struggle for others to handle, even of the mind that you leave behind. So what we're trying to achieve is trying to correct this, and our trying to correct this helps them feel better. By us trying to correct it gives them back their worth of humanity. So we've been able to correct these mistakes that we make, or this shortcoming that we are able to enable, we begin to heal them. So our disability is us to heal at the end of the day. For we all humans are a one. We are a one of a being. The plants also have a male and a female. It's should I say interesting, or should I say it's really beyond comprehension of a human, of why the plants have a male and a female, why other organisms have a male and a female. Some are asexual, some are in one. So it even gives us even still the same concept of a humanity that we are seeking, of a man and a woman together to make that one, the authority caring, the caring authority. That even one, if one side is aggressive, the other side is trying to tame them back to peace, still in the storm. And if the other is of low self-esteem, the other is trying to raise them up to become of self-worth. So it's always both. We need both to become one. And the one we seek should be of of respect and peace. That if there's a disorientation, it's still us to be able to enable this peace be. For we all are a one. Now it brings us back to our earth, that of male and female conception. To be able to bring this one, have we seen that if a female is able to birth a male, and a male able to be part of enabling a female to a being? So it tells us that there is a female in a male, because a male is able to come out of a female, and there is a male in a female because females birth conceive males. And if a female can conceive a male, how is that possible? We begin to ask ourselves, how is that possible that a female is able to conceive a male? It means there's a male in the female. And that's the humanity that we are. And that's the beauty that shows that we are a human. The human is supposed to be one, and we must get back to one of the mind, is where we're trying to head to. That some things that the flesh cannot, the physical that we are of humanity in our world cannot express. The little that we're able to enable without touching the spiritual side of us is able to even give us still the worth that we deserve. That even those that are scared to have anything to do with the spiritual because of how dramatic it is, of how powerful it is, to get to the comprehension of so many have brought their own thoughts and imagination of generations of spirituality and the Christian Bible saying the male was born first and then the rib was taken out and made a female, and some will be like, oh no, it was a woman that was first, and oh no, it was an algae that became a male, and then a female, and then some other activities made of it possible for a female to come to an existence, or falling short of having, so this hormone and this became that and that. We have all brought all kind of stories, and at the end of the day, we are trying to get to that place of one. What is it about us all that enable us to be the humanity that we are supposed to be, of peace during the storm, of caring authority, is what I'm pleading that we try to get. Because if we don't, we should try to make a seed that is able to grow into worthy and be able to show the beauty side of the tree that we all have. We know we've had trees that are affected, disabled, some bringing out fruits that are not really whole the way we expect. So now we're trying to have this tree that can show this production of us, of worthy, of blossoming, of beauty. That's what we're trying to get. And it starts only with working with the seed, by healing the seed, by enabling a worthy seed that can be able to bring out this worth that we can see. And then from there, we can have a good mindset to be able to enable the other trees get to relate to what we expect of our physical being, the physical world that we are. To see that a woman being able to conceive a man, it's like a mother earth. A mother earth conceive a tree, and this tree being able to conceive fruits that have seed, be the male, have seeds in them. And when it goes back into the ground, the mother earth is able to reproduce another tree, and it's the earth that carries the tree and makes it grow to what that is able to have another seed. So the tree now, like a male that have the seeds, is still needed, that even this tree can disintegrate, can break down into little pieces that makes back the ground, and we call it a fertile soil. And this is what we try to do with it, with the grass and leftover of our harvests that are not resources to us. We're able to return it back to the ground and make a fertile ground. So we begin to, even this little that we begin to learn even of the plants that we have that are of lower being to us, meaning we are of higher beings, being able to go to. I'm trying to say that we are higher than the plants. I'm not trying to say that we are the plants don't have a place. All I'm just trying to say is humans are able to have a school, build houses. So that's where we look at our higher beings. When it comes to the living, it's like we all live. The plants live, the plants breathe, the plants. The only thing about human is they're able to carry out technologies and some things, and that puts us in the place of higher beings, and that humanity counts, and it's of us to heal, that will be able to let others be able to breathe, that even our earth is able to breathe, depending on us humans. And this is why we need this place of motivation and inspiration to be able to put ourselves together and find out the peace of us in a storm, the health that we were before the disease, the being that is sick is not the illness. The sickness can be healed. When we begin to reflect these little silly seeds of us, we begin to see that, hey, even a mustard seed can grow into a tree, even though you may think it should be able to produce just a little herb or a little plant, that it becomes a tree. It's amazing how when we begin to see some of these little seeds, it helps us even become much better than even the big seeds that we plant to become trees. If we begin to search back, it's true we are of higher beings, but I tell you, we begin to miss some very little seeds that are so worth that we begin to grow from. And when we grow even better, and the better of the great ones enable the small ones even become better. And it's the better that we seek every day, advancing to the peace that have no storm. It's not an easy path, but we know our traveling should be of what outcome? That our end goal should be of peace that have no storm. And that our aiming higher helps us get even higher, knowing that even if our aiming is for 100 on 100, we can't just aim for 100. We aim for 150, knowing that, hey, aiming for 150 will enable us to even get to a place of 80 on 100. That if we aim only at 100, we may not even go too close to even 80. So our aiming, enthusiasm, like how much zeal, the energy we put in, it should not be exhausting. We should not exhaust. How we put in energy does not mean we exhaust ourselves. It's by aiming for 150, but taking it step by step to get there. And plan well. Our traveling should be gracefully, gentle, humble, without bruising, without afflicting ourselves before we get there. But we know our goal. Yet, should be able to see even the little that we're able to enable. That even when someone says that's not enough, we know it's about, yes, we have more steps to go. And this does not mean that we don't appreciate how much we have received. Now, if it was just only 3 grains of rice and now you have 10, it's like, hey, finally I have 10 grain of rice, of which I had only 3. What does that mean to us? Even though our aim is a cup of rice, but at least having the 10, we have to be able to appreciate it while aiming for the other. And to hear another tell us, hey, that 10 is not enough. It's not for us to get upset and be like, what do you mean? Do you know how much I did to have this 10? Don't you even dare talk to me like that. But we should be able to receive it like a motivation, like an inspiration of, hey, I know you can do better than this 10 grain. You can have a cup. I know how sometimes it can feel so devastating to hear someone say, hey, that 10 is not enough of the hard work we've put to be able to have the 10. But when we know our aim is 150 on 100, I tell you, when that one says that 10 is not enough, you begin to be able to say, yes, you're right. Because I really have to gain that 150. I have to try to get there. I have to keep that aim of 150. We all have gotten to this place of exhaustion that we become like, don't you even talk about my 10 grain of rice. Like, I have tried. You have no idea what I face. That even I still talking right here. I need someone to still tell me that back at my face. Like, hey, Maris, you gotta try. You have to try to be able to see that you can go better than this. That even when I break out, you understand that it's because of the things that we go through. It's not easy to gain 10 grain of rice if you had been short of even just having just 3 grain of rice. Now we are trying to get even greater than 10, meaning that we have to get to a cup full. Sometimes looking at a cup full, we feel even discouraged of how much we go through. but we cannot cease from seeing the goal. The end goal is our motivation and inspiration to be able to get there. It's how we see it, how we plan it that will matter. Why even the care plan that the nurses do, they have their end goal, but they guess what? They have steps that they have to take to get there. And patience. You have to be reliable. You have to trust yourself. You have to keep yourself worth. You have to keep yourself away from diseases. You have to try to be of prevention is better than cure. You have to be able to have some other part of you, like your motivations that get you there. Bring us back again to what I'm talking about being a male. The authority that we are is able to be achievable of the characteristics that we build around us, the motivations that we build of character around us, needing the other to be able to contribute. Of when we feel lacking, can we have a help from the other side? Have we heard of a quote that says, "There is never there is never there is never a great man without a strong woman." Like every behind every behind every. I know we all know that quote. It's funny how I can say. I'm trying to say behind every able man is a strong woman, something like that. And then I finalized mine with same, like behind every um they say behind every. I wrote it down. Let me take a look at it, please. Let me take a look at what I wrote. It says behind every successful male is a behind every successful male is a strong woman. It says behind every, I don't know if this is how the quote is actually, but I know we all have revised standards of so many, but this is what I know we all understand the quote that I'm trying to quote from. Behind every successful male is a strong woman. And I completed it with also will say of every famous female is a dominant or a distinct male. Okay. Also will say of every famous female is a dominant or distinct male. We know that our male are very distinctive and dominant, because that's the characteristic of a male that some females try to have, but they are always a little bit behind because of their emotions. Of whatever level a female has been able to get to of dominant, we know there's a male that is greater than that, right? So to complete that quote, I said also will say of every famous female that enabled a successful male. Because when you enable a successful male, being a strong woman behind that male, you become famous, you become known. Like, hey, who is that backing up that man? Oh, she's famous. Why is she famous? Because there is a dominant male, a distinct male, a male who is able to stand his ground. Some would say aggressive. Well, aggressive may sound very harsh, but aggressive is, be it of a of a good or bad. But the what we have to also understand is when they say every successful male, behind every successful male is a strong woman, it all matters if it's of good or of unfair. That if a male is a successful unfair male, it's because there is a strong on a strong um, unfair female. So, but does not mean that that's who we are. Unfair only means disorientation. Does not mean that's who we are. Unfair only means sickness. Does not mean that's who we are. We just need healing. Okay. If Maris is sick today, Maris is only a sick one. The sickness does not replace me. It's just only the sickness. It's gonna go away. You cannot miss seeing my dignity, the true me. And this is what is after every male and female out here. going through any difficulty or facing a disability or being an or look or being looked upon like like one that is like an obstacle in any other one's way, we begin to see that hey, it is not them but their disability that we're trying to heal. We have to be able to try to heal their disability is what we should be thinking about. And that's the mentality I'm trying to get us to concerning or caring authority, which is the true humanity that we are supposed to be. Now, when we begin to discredit another, it's not fulfilling humanity. And we have to see also that it's a form of sickness that we have to try to heal. I'm not saying this like I'm perfect. I do have difficulties too that I get to go off. And then the most important thing is to be able to realize and be like, hey, I know I have said some things that are not supposed to be said, like, trying to like you know, like this like talk something negative about someone, but at the same time have to be able to see that hey, I also have some things that are negative that I'm trying to heal. This one too can heal. You can see a drunk one and say, oh my goodness, he's drunk, he's all naked, but I realize, hey, I was in that bar drinking too. I'm tipsy. Like, hey, before I get there, maybe I should try helping this one, because trying to help this one will be helping me getting better, and also they getting better. We all getting better by not condemning each other. That sometimes you may say, "Oh, I cannot even go close to this one because they're gonna, you know, you know, get physical with me." And then what you have to do is on the other side, don't condemn them because you're only getting making them worse. When you throw words at someone that is disorientating, it makes them worse. That even sometimes saying good words to them still gets them worse. But we know the outcome. The outcome is what we have to try to look at in order to know what is what. Because at the end of the day, we have to heal. And now how we heal will matter. It's what we have to try to make a care plan on how to approach. And this is why we go to school. This is why we try to learn the true positive side of us is peace that have no storm, that no one is rejected. We are able to be of worth. That when we fall apart, we are able to still know that we can still stand. For we are a human. That when we fall apart of two, we can still become back the one of humanity that we're supposed to be. Low self-esteem and arrogant pride, like the aggressive male and the aggressive female, we're trying to humble back to peace that have no storm, which is humble pride. Humble pride is the one that we are humanity, that we try to get back to one. Of the male and female must become one. One is what we seek of both, to be able to adjust back to what. I pray that we're able to receive what a male authority is all about, the characteristic of a male, and a video today on male gender related to the female gender video we had um before this concerning a women history month that we're trying to celebrate the American the United States celebrate Women History Month in March, and that's what I was trying to look at. And so I did call names of some females. So I want us to appreciate also our males. I did get to have some names of males I know. There's so many men that are famous than women, but we all are famous at the end of the day. We know we have always made the men look, you know, the highest, and the female a little bit. It's just a matter of understanding authority and caring, but all in the same hand are all the same. It's amazing how they are all the same, of the same capability of making peace that have no storm, so long they are in the right place of caring and 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 self-worth. Some names I was able to enable of our physical being. We have uh, Papa Nelson Mandela. We have Papa George Washington, Papa Abraham Lincoln. We have Papa Plato, the great philosopher. We have Papa Socrates, also a philosopher. We have Papa Martin Luther King Jr. those who stand for peace, who try to stand for peace the best that we can, of enabling a higher worth of a human to be able to achieve this goal that we seek, of the end goal of humanity, of peace that have no storm, have all this contributed. We have Papa Michael Jackson, we have my father, how about my kid's father, the men out there, the little boys, they are all, you know, of the father nature, which is authority. And caring is what we try to do, and this is what is worth. And we begin to see authority in even the little boys growing, trying to put it up, and we're trying to help them understand that, hey, it's not only about, being of authority, but also having the caring in you. And also we have Papa Alexander the Great, we have the famous great Papa Constantine, we have Emperor Akbar, our I know he's Indian, of one of our ancestors, and I have other names that I did. But oh yes, our religious, our spiritual motivators, like the religious motivators, like Prophet Muhammad, as Papa Muhammad. You have Christ, our Lord. The Christianity, we have Papa Mahatma Gandhi. We have Papa Benjamin Franklin. Tell me about all of them. There are so many of, at least these few names. It's just a matter of being able to know that we also call the male names and not just only the female names. I respect our humanity, our being of being a male and a female, and also of being an in-between hermaphrodite, like of one. I growing up have always been, addressed of, you look more of like a male, the physical nature, the way you're physical look more of, behind you look like a male, but in front of you, okay, I can see a female. But so at the end of the day, we all have this physical and of male and female, or inside of male and female, that we all have to be able to look at and see that, hey, it's only trying to tell us that humanity is a man and a woman, to be able to understand the reality of who we are, of moral good alone, peace seeking, peace stilling the storm. Every disorientation that we have around us, within or out, is to be able to see that of every storm, we can peace still it by seeing the brighter side, which is the true us, and not the sickness alone. It's good to see the sickness, the differences, but seeing it is not to be it, but to correct it back, to right, to get back our stability. That when you fall, it's a diversity, it's a difference that we're able to diagnose and acknowledge, so that we can be able to get back to the right of stability. I pray we understand the video of today on male gender. I'm glad we're able to go through it and finish it. I wasn't sure how my words were going to come out, but I'm glad I was able to bring out the words that I could to enable us to get this beginning of a little seed that we're planting for it to grow right. Hopefully, on another next video that will have a male, we'll have more information to bring out, and putting them together, we'll be able to see a little side of us that we're missing, of so much knowledge have others, that this little that we're able to bring out, they begin to connect some dots and enable us to have the mansion that we deserve on the foundation, or a better foundation, even better, by making the foundation, the weak foundation that we have, even stronger and better. So we appreciate our ancestors and those that are living today, for a better future of us tomorrow. We seek peace still the storm. Thank you all for listening, and hope when we sit back and think, we're able to bring out even more of better thoughts, correcting any mistakes that I have made of this video, to reach me, so that I can be able to also understand better of the little that I have, to be able to share and contribute to our well-being. Stay blessed. Stay blessed, all. Royalties, we all are worthy of our goal our end goal, royalty, humanity with dignity. Thank you all for watching and listening. Thank you.